Hello guys and welcome to another video. In this one we're going to make my November spreads, and in this one I decided to go with a mushroom theme, which I haven't tried yet. When I was recording this plan with me, it was raining outside, so it created this really moody and cozy ambience that I really like. And I really wanted to light a candle, but my cats like to see what I'm doing on the table, and so I couldn't light it because then my cat's tail gets in the fire and I don't want to burn it, obviously. So to start with this cover page, I decided to make this brown kind of background with some cutouts that I had from a previous project. I tried to use my glue tape to glue this paper, but it didn't really work out, so I had to use my glue stick to make it really stick to the page. Then I wanted to make my cover page a little more whimsical and cute, and so I had this Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen, I think, in gold, to make this like frame only on the corners. I think that with this theme it would be nice to use my alphabet stamp, and that's why I created my entire quote page with them, to give it a kind of old book text look. Then I used my brown ink pad to make these two words stand out more, which is antique and mushroom, so it won't look too black on the page. Then, of course, my cat Sakura decided to see what I was doing on the table, and of course, she has to stand right in front of my lamp. And so, because of her, I had to move my notebook a little bit towards me. So, I'm sorry if in some parts it is out of frame. And to finish this quote page, I used this vase with mushrooms that I cut from a sheet of a stationery set that I had, to give a finishing touch to this page. And now for the cover page, I had this sticker that it looked like a painting of a three mushrooms, and so I had this to kind of center the page. I had to put this sticker a little bit higher on the page because I also had my November lettering to put on this page, of course, and so I had to do these two together. And of course, I'm very indecisive, so I made plans to use these washi tapes, but couldn't find a layout that I liked. So in the end, I ended up not using them at all. So instead of using these washi tips, I used these dot stickers that I had in this kind of vintagey theme to finish this cover page. And to match the quote page, I made the same golden corners on this sticker to make a frame around it and bring it all together. And now moving on to the calendar spread, I made the calendar the same layout as the October one, so Monday and Tuesday stay on the left page and the rest of the week is on the right page. I find this layout very practical for me and it gives me a little bit of space to make decorations on the side or space for a to-do list, for example. Instead of making the calendar an awkward shape, I made it rectangular and painted the days that are out of the month with my mild liner in the color mild beige and used the color mild olive to paint the days of the week. The lettering didn't turn out exactly as I wanted, but it matched the cover page pretty well, so I'm not mad about it. Make it cohesive with the rest of the spreads, I used again my alphabet stamps to make the days of the week. To make the decorations, I used this cutout from the same paper that I used on the cover page and glued it on the corner of this page. Then I used my mushroom stickers to make this little cluster, which I think is the name given to a group of mushrooms, but correct me if I'm wrong because I'm not a mushroom specialist by any means. And of course, I had to make it harder for myself and decided that I wanted to use the washi tape after all, so I had to lift the paper and stick the washi beneath it to make this kinda layered paper effect, which I think looks cuter and better than before, but it took me a while to lift the paper and the lined washi tape. Again, to accomplish my mission of making things harder for myself in this layout, I had to put a sticker beneath the other two, and because these are PET stickers, it's much more difficult to lift them after they are on the paper. Or I don't know, it's my problem and I simply can't lift stickers very well. Now, moving on to my favorite spread of this month, my weekly layout, which of course had to include a Dutch store. This one, I must say, that was more tricky to make than the other weekly layouts of the other months that I made previously, because in this one, instead of cutting the page straight from one hand to another, I made these little circles with the number of each day, which make it harder to cut, but it turned out really well, I think. Some people asked me why I make my weeklies all at once instead of making it week to week like some of other creators, but I simply find it easier for me to make it all at once. It's more time consuming, yes, but I don't always have time at the end of the week to make another weekly layout for the next days, because I work full time and study on my free time, so I can't afford wasting time when I'm busy. And I think most people can relate to this. Now, returning to my layout, I used the alphabet stamps with my brown ink pad to make the days of the week in each box and colored the circles in the same mild liner colors that I used previously. I had these mini prints made of washi paper from a paper book and found these ones that are mushroom themed. So I knew I had to use them somewhere in this layout. Turns out they are the perfect size of the boxes that I drew, so I glued them on the side of each row. And here is the finished Dutch door that I made off camera. And for the other side of this spread, I made a mini calendar of November so I can see where I'm in the month. We'll continue with the golden frames. I used again my gold marker and drew on each corner of the papers. I used this paper with little mushrooms on the side and glued it below the calendar to make a to-do list. It's time for the final spreads of this November plan with me, so my habit trackers and content planning. For my habit trackers, I didn't want a rectangular shape, so I used Procreate to make a circle calendar for the month of November and printed it on sticker paper. I wanted to track the same ones that I tracked on the month of October, so gaming, drawing, exercise, and reading. For my content planning is the same as always. I have a space for my ideas and a space for my video planning, with a description of the video, and then these 3 columns I use for marking if the video is recorded, edited, and published. I had a vision for the decorations in this spread, so I glued the paper on the middle of the page and wanted to look like the mushrooms were growing from this paper. It didn't turn out as I envisioned it, but it's cute and I'm happy with it. Now it's done and it's time for my flip through. If you like this type of videos, like and subscribe because I make one for each month, and tell me in the comments if you like this month's spreads. And now that the end of the year is near, I'm planning my 2024 setup, so subscribe so you don't miss it. As always, thank you for watching and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye!